Hey, my name's James Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about why the next interest rate rise might be the last and why most economists agree with this. So we're going to talk about that, the impact that will have on landlords and homeowners and renters, because this could be the final piece in the interest rate rises. But before we jump into that, as always, if you haven't done, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification and help us get more views on the channel by smashing the like button, guys. It takes you 2 seconds and you can help us grow the channel even more. So I appreciate you doing that. So let's talk about interest rates. Well, it's no secret they've been going up for 14 consecutive meetings. And the next Bank of England meeting is on September the 21st, next Thursday. And Reuters, one of the biggest reporters of financial stuff, they're pretty good at what they do. They have surveyed 63 of the best economists in the UK. Now, out of those 63, 62 of them, this is very good, 62 of them have said that they believe that this is the last interest rate rise that we'll see. So why is that? Because inflation is still high, officially at 6.8%. We're expecting a blip coming up next month, or this month, on the 18th, I think the next results are. So early next week. So we've got a lot going on next week. So there's a high chance that inflation has gone back up to 7%, but a lot of people feel that this could be the final time that we see an interest rate rise. Also, what's interesting is the bank committee. They've been doing talks around the world, as they always would. And even those guys are hinting that this could be the top and we don't want to over tighten. So what's the reasoning for that? Well, there is a lot behind this. So first off, they feel that inflation for this quarter will average at 6.8%. And that's good. So that's good. But they feel that the inflation will drop more than expected in the next quarter now. So the target by Rishi Sunak, not that he's doing much to actually do to help this push this down, the target by Rishi Sunak was 5%. They feel we're going to hit 4.7%. So that's good. And that's moving in the right direction. What we're also looking at is economists are saying, look, when you put an interest rate rise up, it can take a year to impact, because just because they put the interest rates up today, it doesn't hit you in the pocket tomorrow, unless you're on a variable rate, which last time in 2008, a lot of people were. In fact, I was reading one of my original mortgage documents from Charcoal, one of the biggest mortgage brokers in the UK, that I had from 1999, and I was on a variable rate back then, and a lot of people seem to be on that. And I don't have any recollection of being bothered by interest rates at all during that time. They didn't seem to be volatile as they are now. And so interest rates, what we want is more stability. That's important, right? So when we raise the interest rates, it doesn't have an impact immediately, as we say. So what does the bank have to look at? Well, first and foremost, they have to be seen to do something, right? That gives confidence to the markets that they're just not doing nothing. And the Bank of England did wait a little bit too long before they started raising interest rates. And what was talked about at the time was that this inflation was transitory, that it'd be long gone by now. They felt that it would be high quickly and gone very quickly. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. So then they took on a new stance, and that was just to keep going until the inflation started to really drop. So we had 14 meetings where it went up. We're just about to have the 15th meeting when 80% of people think that it's going to go up. Now, at the back end of last year, we had the mini budget. That caused carnage. They felt that interest rates would peak at 6.5% back then. Now, we're looking to go this month probably from 5.25% to 5.5%. Do comment below what do you think is going to happen this month? Do you agree with that sentiment? Do you think we're going to go up 0.25% this month? Or do you think we're going to go up more? Or do you think we might actually have a pause in interest rates going up? So the interest rates have gone up. We've got this big lag on impacting people from that. Inflation is going down. But more importantly, what they're looking at is unemployment is ticking up as well. So I think we were at 4.2%. We've just gone to 4.3%. And so that's an indication that this tightening is having impact. And surveying business owners, so the big businesses, they're saying that their confidence in expanding their business and growing their business in the next year or so is at an all-time low. Well, not an all-time low, but similar to when we were in the middle of the pandemic, when it was very hard to be in some industries. And so that indicates that business doesn't think that things are good. And potentially when they don't think things are good, they're right. Because they know what pipeline orders that they've got, they know what new products they've got coming out, they know if they're going to pause certain projects, and that could indicate that we're more than likely going to go into a recession. Somehow, we've avoided that so far. I don't know how, but we have avoided a recession. So that indicates that what the Bank of England has done already has the impact to give us the desired outcome, which is to lower inflation. And so maybe after this interest rate rise, if we pause and wait and see what happens, inflation will just naturally drop over time anyway. So this is potentially good news for investors. Now, what this means is that landlords, we will get some more predictability. And so we can see that in the market now. We are getting more confidence on what rates will end up being. So some banks are dropping rates below the base rate, they're lower than 5.5%. There is talk about some banks potentially, just to get the headlines and to get more customers, dropping it to like 4.9%. Some people are talking about that. I've seen that in multiple articles, and that would be a great headline, wouldn't it? If you were HSBC, you're at 5.25% or 5.5% at the moment, and you dropped it to 4.9%. That would be headlines all around the world. The advertising you'd get off that and the influx of inquiries could be quite good for your business. So it makes logical sense to consider doing that. And so there is less business out there. And so banks are fighting for that business, which is what we want. We want them to be considering lowering the rates, being more open to people. And at the moment, it can be tough to get a mortgage above 65% loan to value. So maybe that will happen and help. And so higher interest rates again, this is going to get passed on to renters. That's what I made a video on yesterday. Maybe go and check that out if you didn't see it. Rents are expected to jump 25%. That was from Hampton's data, and I feel potentially that could be true. I'm seeing less rental properties in all markets that I'm in, and they are shifting very, very fast. When we have a vacancy now, the estate agents that we use, they don't have to advertise long. It's a day before they've got enough people to do viewings to pick one good tenant from that. In the past, we would have to advertise for weeks and sometimes drop our rent to get tenants. That's not happening anymore. So let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think this is the final increase? Remember, when we get that increase potentially next week, the bank won't say that it's the final increase. That doesn't make sense. They will make sure that they use woolly language to not predict what's going to happen because they actually want that rate increase to do something to inflation. So that's really, really important to understand. Let me know your thoughts and comments. Let's have a discussion on this in the comments below. Do smash the like button, subscribe and hit the bell. Check out some more content on the channel. We've got 500 videos now. Why don't you go and watch this one right here?